All right, it is follow-up Friday. It's time to get some work done, and I actually love Fridays. I don't know if you guys feel a shift in your energy or just kind of like the week is sort of coming to a close. Um, I like to get a lot done earlier in the day, and then when it gets to be, more the evening time or whatever, I love to just take the time to really just be mom and enjoy or go on a date or do something like that. But I feel so much more satisfied when I get the work done that I said I would get done during the week. And I was helping to train somebody else's team. I have a sweet friend that I met about a year ago. She came to Align in August, and she is really struggling with cancer right now. And she said, hey, can you come on and teach my team? And they don't know how to reach goals. And so I was talking about reaching goals, and one of the things that I was talking about in reaching goals is kind of, basically how you use your time. um, and I'm not 100% perfect at this. It's not anything that I'm perfect at, but I'm always thinking about this, and it's always in the back of my head, and it helps me a lot of times to get my act together and use my time better. And so I was talking about, basically people that are struggling to get things done and feel like they're getting anywhere. And I'm like, well, do you write down the top things that you have to do every day? Just like the top 3 or 4 things in your business, or the top 3 or 4 things in mom life, or the top 3 or 4 things in whatever it is. Like your relationship, maybe with your spouse, you're like, okay, every morning I make him a cup of coffee. That's one. It makes him feel special. It makes him feel important. Every day when he comes home from work, I give him a big hug. And I like, what are 3 or 4 really important things that you do in these different areas of your life? And when it comes to work, if you are struggling to find the motivation to get it in, remember the things that you said you would do. Remember the promises that you made with yourself, because the picture I was painting of her, and I don't know with her, and I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but you said you were going to do something, and you get distracted with like 10 other things, and maybe somebody calls you, and like you just drop everything to go, I don't know, pick somebody up, or you're like, oh wait, I did forget this one thing at the grocery store, or oh well, my son wants me to play cards with him right now, so I'm going to do that right now. And you had these 3 things that you were absolutely going to do in your business. Maybe it was your 5 or 10 reach outs. Maybe it was that you were going to write posts for 3 days. Maybe it was that you were going to follow up with all of your level ones or 5 of your level ones today. And the day goes on, and you're not motivated to do it. So you get to like 4 or 5 o'clock, and then it's time to spend time with family tonight or whatever. And your mind keeps thinking about the things that you didn't do. Does that ever happen to you? Like you're like, I was supposed to do this, I didn't do it. And so you're with your family, but you're not, because you didn't do the things that you said you were going to do, that you promised yourself you were going to do. And so maybe you're sitting down at movie night, but you actually have your phone on the side and you're sending some messages, or you're writing a post, or you're doing something else because you didn't do it earlier. You could have done it earlier, but you didn't do it earlier. And so what I said to this team is I said, listen, sometimes you have to, get yourself energized, get yourself pumped up. You got to, do the thing, and then you got to sit down and make yourself do it and give yourself a time limit. You have to give yourself a time limit and be like, I said I would do this today. I said I would do my IPA. I said I would reach out to 5 people. I said I would follow up with my potentials. I said I would whatever. And if you're not really feeling like doing it, give yourself a time limit and make it fast and furious. Be like, I got 30 minutes and I'm going to do this in 30 minutes, and then I'm going to move on, because I've attached a reward at the end. The reward is whatever you put in that blank. The reward is that when it's movie night tonight, I get to sit on the couch 100% and snuggle with my daughters, because that's what they do. One on each boob. Okay? Just nuzzle up. I'm not really sure why, because it's just bone, but that's where they like to nuzzle up. So I feel so much joy and satisfaction because I get to be present in that moment, but I think even more so because I kept my promise to myself, because I did the thing that I said I was going to do. And it's not the earth shattering, huge things that make this business or break this business. It's you showing up every single day and doing a little bit every single day. And then if it's a push month or a push week, doing a little bit more, right? Those are busier times, but we do have to put in the work on the daily, and motivation really doesn't matter. It's, do I want to be at peace in my soul? Do I want to be able to have moments and times where I'm present in the other things in my life? When somebody tells me this is all I think about, I can't think about anything else, I'm like, well, how disciplined are you with your time and doing the things that you actually said you would do? Because I know on those days, like, what about those days, guys, when you're like, I'm gonna fold and put the laundry away, I'm gonna clean the pantry, and you do them and you're like, I'm amazing. Like, you feel so good because you did the things you said you were going to do in your house, and you walk into your bedroom and the bed's made and it looks clean. It's the same thing in your business. You got to make your business bed. You said you would do these things, so do them. So on Follow Up Friday, one of the things that I like to do is we sent a lot of messages. If you had a 3-day challenge this week, or you invited people to the Zoom, yesterday, I had several people. I had one new level one. I don't know if you're here yesterday, but I had one new level one that I invited to invite people. And she was like, sure, yeah, send me the link. I'm going to follow up with her. And then I had 2 yeses to come that are just potentials that still haven't pulled the trigger. And I'm going to follow up with them. And then I had about 10 other people that I invited that didn't respond. I'm also going to follow up with them. So I start there with, like, gosh, who have I been talking to this week? So write that down on your paper. Who have I been talking to this week? Write their names down, and we're going to follow up with those people. And after we do this, I'm going to turn the time over to Melissa, and she is going to teach us some things too, and also give us some new fresh reach out ideas. But let's start with people that we're following up with that came to a 3-day, came to a Zoom, came to some type of event-ish thing. Maybe you even hosted a sip and share this week, and we're going to follow up with them. So my follow-up is usually super casual. It's just something like, hey, because I actually saw some of them on the call. Hey, I saw you on the call last night. So awesome that you could take a few minutes to come and hear us share our stories. What stood out to you last night? Just like something really simple like that. Or if they were in a 3-day challenge this week, hopefully all along in that 3-day challenge, you've been following up with them. And if not, it's okay, it happens. I've put people on 3-day challenges and it's just been like a crazy week, or more so than that, I just really wasn't disciplined with my time. And I can own that, I didn't really do the system of follow-up that I'd hoped, but all is not lost. I can follow up with them, and maybe you put them in a 3-day challenge last week and you didn't follow up. This is a great time to follow up. They've had some time to digest that energy. So I'm just going to reach out and, again, thank them. I'm going to talk about maybe one of my favorite things in the 3-day challenge, maybe a favorite story that reminded me of them, or the post on the triplex that has the information that I think pertains to them. And then I'm going to ask them, what was your favorite part? Or whose story was your favorite? Okay, so I'll write up a couple of follow-up messages for people that have been on the fence or attended an event, and then we'll go from there. We want to send, hopefully you've got 3, 4, 5, 6 different people to follow up, and then share your messages as well. We'll take about 5 minutes. If you're just hopping on, I see one person just hopping on. We are going to be sending some follow-up messages for people that attended events and 3-day challenges. If you've got a great one, you can always unmute yourself as well. Hi, Abby. We are sending some follow-up messages. If you're just hopping on here, I'm typing some examples in the comments. Did you get all your people? Or you still have a few more?
A few more.
Oh, go ahead. Did somebody unmute themselves?
Oh, yeah, I did. I was just answering your question. I was like, a few more.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead. I was just going to talk for a minute about what about those people that have been potentials that have had interest and you sent the invitation to yesterday and they didn't respond. I would still reach out to those people and I would say, hey, I was just thinking about you this morning or this afternoon. I know life gets hectic and my invitation yesterday was a little bit last minute, but if you'd like to, I could totally send that recording over. And this weekend while you're folding laundry, helping the kids with some homework, making dinner or whatever, you could just put it on and have a listen. Would you want to do that? So I'm still going to offer to send the recording. So I'll type up that example as well. So I just want to touch bases and give people every single opportunity, not to be annoying, but just, I thought of you, I care about you. I know we've talked about this. You want to watch the recording kind of thing. So I'll write that out as well. My husband is always impressed with how many capsules I can swallow at once.
Hey, real quick, while you guys are writing, something that I have been trying to do more of is to bring value to my people that are interested, that I'm showing them, like, for example, I've been listening to a book that is about gut health. It's not connected to Plexus, but it's all about gut health, and it is validating everything that I have been learning over the last 3 years about Plexus. And when I hear something in this book that relates to different people that I am talking with, I let them know. I talk to them about the book, and I'm hoping that what it is doing is that it's showing them that I am not just like Plexus is the only thing. Like, this is medical science in the field now that is validating what we have, to hopefully help them to see that this is much more than just me trying to push and sell something onto them, but to help them to see that this is good science in the medical industry that is proving that this is not just something that we should consider, but it's something that is essential if we really want to take our health seriously.
Yeah.
Anyway, so if you have things like that, third-party validation, to show them that you are taking the time and effort to understand not just our products, but why this matters. We'll see if it goes well. None of them have signed up yet, but we're working on it.
So this is I don't remember if we talked about this. I'm like, my brain is not fully sure. On Wednesday? No, I was probably teaching somebody else about this, but Melissa, that is so true, because when I started Plexus, and part of the thing that really was the honest truth is I didn't know these things. I didn't know everything about gut health. And so when somebody would come to me and they'd say, I have rheumatoid arthritis, will this help me? I had no idea. No idea. But I was like, I wasn't going to my upline. I didn't, because I didn't have an upline that did that kind of stuff for me. And I love her. She did a lot of other things for me, but that was not her thing. And so I decided I got to figure that out. And so I would go to Google and I would search gut health and rheumatoid arthritis. So these are the keywords I would search: gut health and rheumatoid arthritis, natural remedies for rheumatoid arthritis, natural treatment of rheumatoid arthritis, blood sugar balance, and rheumatoid arthritis. Legit, you guys, those 4 things were my search engine on Google. And now I know how to differentiate between a junk source and a good source. So, a good source would be something that's more reputable, like, a publication that's a little bit more reputable, like Healthline or Dr. Axe or Dr. Mercola or WebMD or PubMed, things like that. And I would literally read these articles, not super scientific and not like necessarily studies, but I'm like, okay, I mean, I trust Dr. Axe. I trust, Dr. Mercola, Healthline. I'm like, these are pretty reputable sources. And so I would read through it, and it would talk about, how omegas were good for PCOS, how in order to get better from PCOS, you had to decrease the amount of yeast you had in your body. And so like these little key things would stick out to me, and I would send an article if it felt right, just to kind of like as third-party validation. I'd be like, this article is not from Plexus. It's not about Plexus, but it talks about like some of the top things that you can do to heal your PCOS. And the system that I think would help you do that is this. It has blah, 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 helps with the yeast, add on the Mega X or whatever. But I would find an outside source to validate what I was saying. So Melissa is right on. And it actually really did help me, Melissa, to sponsor a lot of people, because they felt like, oh, this girl does her homework. And a lot of times, everyone will say, don't be the expert. Don't be the expert. You're not the expert. Don't be the expert. How many of you guys have heard that? Well, yes and no. I mean, it's true, but like for your own personal potentials, if you had saved like a little database of articles or links And when you find those things, save them on a note in your phone. Like, it doesn't hurt to actually know what you're talking about. It doesn't hurt. Like, that just makes you a professional in your products. And I'm not teaching everybody that they have to be a nurse, but I'm like, hey, we got Google. Hey, we got YouTube. I watched a lot of YouTube videos. Like, there's this guy called the Candida Crusher. There's this girl that's like some holistic naturopath that like had one all about female health issues. Put those things on when you're doing the dishes and stuff. This is really good stuff. So thanks for sharing that, Melissa, because that is something that I used to do all the time that I don't necessarily do very much anymore unless I pull it out, unless somebody needs it. So I think, Melissa, some people need that, some people don't, but you can be adding value, and that also can add value to your posts because the quality of your posts and the education in your posts will go up. So I love that. Okay. So we hopefully by now have done all of our follow-up messages with potentials. And if you feel like Melissa said, like you can always throw a little article in there that simply just says, I just read this article today and it was super fascinating. I'm so grateful I'm on a gut health journey. Thought I'd pass it on to you. Just something really simple like that. Okay. All right, so let's move on. We've done our follow-up. Melissa's going to talk a little bit and teach us a little bit about how to manage our time because she has a really busy life, and how does she fit it in. And she's also going to give us some examples. We're going to do some fresh reach outs because every single day, if we do fresh reach outs, we are going to have such a bigger harvest and be able to help so many more people.
Okay. Well, real quick, when Brooke was talking at the beginning, something that she said, I thought about how she's able, to stay committed to whatever she promised herself that she would do, and then she can move on and feel at peace about what she was able to accomplish and then move on. Now, if you're like me, I have a hard time turning things off. When I'm in like business mode, it's really difficult for me to switch it off. I don't know why. But I want to just put the plug in there that is something I'm aware of, and therefore I am practicing the effort of turning things off. So if you struggle with that, I don't want you to feel like, oh, well, that's just fine and dandy and easy for Brooke. I think it's a skill that either she's developed or maybe she's just naturally good at that and has been able to turn things off. But it's definitely a skill that you can develop. So if that's something that you struggle with and you think, oh, I want to be able to turn this off and be able to just, when I'm with my family, be with my family. And when I'm with my work, I'm with my work. And I understand if that is a struggle. I understand the struggle because it is for me too. So hard work and practicing. Yep. So what I wanted to share with you is something that I shared with my team this week. Is that at the beginning of the year, I bought one of these great big calendars just on Amazon where I could write things down. It stays on my work desk, and it helps me to know exactly what I'm going to accomplish. Now, what I'm going to share with you is in addition to my daily IPA. I don't write my IPA on here. This is just what I do in addition to my IPA, which maybe isn't necessary because a lot of times the IPA covers these things, but it just helps me to stay on track. So, for example, in our team, we always start the week on Monday with an IPA challenge in our group, Facebook group, and that just kind of sets the stage for the whole week of what we are going to focus on every single day that pertains to that IPA challenge. On Tuesdays, I actually think it would be fun to change this around because I never really considered Friday as follow-up day. Friday, follow-up. But for me, I have Tuesday as my follow-up, my weekly follow-up. This is the day that I reach out to all of my ambassadors that have recently enrolled to make sure that they are, just to check in with them and see how they're doing. This is also the day that I try to follow up with any new potentials that I have had in 3-day challenges or that have attended recent Zoom calls. So I'm just going to read really quick. I didn't put it in the thread, which I can, but I have it on my iPad, so it makes it tricky. But this is the my friend that was in the 3-day challenge, she has not attended a Zoom call yet. And she has been interested and has been following my Plexus journey for quite a while. So I sent her the Zoom call because she said that she would watch it. I followed up with her on that to see if she had a chance to take a look at it. And then I asked her, I'd love to know if you were able to view it and if anything stood out to you. And then I told her about this book that I have been listening to called Fiber Fueled. It's all about gut health, and it is amazing if any of you guys are interested in listening to it as well. But this doctor keeps mentioning her particular autoimmune issue. And that's why it keeps reminding me of her. So I told her about that. And I said, I encourage you to take a listen to this because he validates so much of what I've been learning over the last 3 years of the importance of gut health. And then this is how I'm trying to close the deal with her. I'm trying to just have her pull the trigger. And I finally said at the end, there's a special pricing that ends the end of this month. It's $10 membership instead of $40. Now, obviously you guys can put free membership or whatever it is that you want to offer there. But right now, currently, I'm not offering free membership. I said it's $10 membership instead of $40 for wholesale pricing for the year, and $20 off of a 99 welcome pack or a $199 welcome pack. And then I've been in touch with her about different welcome packs and told her that I could help her to choose that. And then I just said, if this is something you'd like to take advantage of, we should get on the phone and I can help you choose a combo great for you to start with. So I'm trying to reword my pitch for closing in a way that makes them feel like it's a really great deal. For one, that's $50 off, essentially what they would normally pay. And also putting words in there like, take advantage of a really great deal. You know, I'm just trying to put words in there that they're going to hear that thinks, oh God, I don't want to miss a really great deal. I've been looking at this. And anyway, we'll see where that goes. But so Tuesday is my follow-up day for both recent ambassadors and potentials. Wednesday is my less than 100 PV. As your businesses grow, this will become a really important part of your work. Between less than 100 PV and your your white lines, there is a huge business opportunity in just that. Like that is something I'm really noticing, that if I could help the people that I already have to order and to have a good experience with Plexus, they're gonna start ordering again. If I had all of my white lines ordering, I would be Sapphire, you guys, or pretty darn close to it. I mean, that's like sickening to think about. If you consider that we have huge business growth within our own business, then that should not be something that we skip in our weekly part of our work, is focusing on our less than 100 PVs and our white lines. And I have so many that I have to split it up into groups, into chunks, okay? So less than 100 PV is on my Wednesday. Then our team does a work with me call on Thursdays and or Friday, so it's not and. So it's a Thursday or Friday. So if it's on Thursday, then we have a work with me call. If it's on Friday, then on that week of the Friday, I do my white lines. So my 100 PV, less than 100 PV is on Wednesday. My white lines is either on Thursday or Friday, depending on what we do with work with me. This helps me to know what to do. And I'm not any more busy than anybody else here. Every single person here is really, really busy with life. And so if I don't have something scheduled like this, I don't do it. Because I have plenty of work to do that is not Plexus related. So if I don't set it out like this and have my calendar in front of me of what I'm going to work on today, I won't get it done. So I would encourage you, if you don't have some kind of a calendar or schedule of what you're going to work on, that is something that you change as I love Sammy Joe. If you guys know who Sammy Joe is, she always talks about the easy button. Do the things that are the easy button so that you won't get burned out and so you won't stop doing the work. And I have so been there. We all have, right? We avoid the work because one, if it's not fun, we don't want to do it. Two, there's plenty of other things to do that are as important, maybe even more important, and we will fill our time with other things. So find the easy button that works for you so that you will hold yourself accountable to the things that you need to get done. And then I guess we can talk about some messages. Is that what you wanted us to do next, Brooke?
Yes, I love how you shared that because I think it's good for people to see all the different ways. It's like literally the problem that everybody has is, how should I do my work? When should I do my work? How do I get how do I get this done? And maybe Melissa's way like really spoke to you, or maybe you're like, no, it doesn't, and that's okay. Like I always tell people, like, hey, if you don't want to work how I work, fine, because I used to like I've read a lot of books about time management and mornings and all this stuff. And I would usually read them and I'd be like, well, I can't do it how they do it. Or that won't work for my schedule. Or I don't like, and then I felt like there was something wrong with me because I couldn't do it how somebody else did it. And I listened to a really great podcast about comparison. I'll drop the link in here. And so if listening to her sparked some great ideas, use it. And that doesn't mean you have to use the whole thing that she uses. It could have just been like one little nugget. Like you can always take a piece and extract. I think of this business as being like a quilt. You're just extracting like little things from all different leaders and all different people, and it's just a little square on your quilt. You're like, I'm going to take that one idea from Melissa and I'm going to put it into my quilt to make this my unique, business. So thank you for sharing that. So many great ideas. So yeah, it's new message time. It's like, all right, let's build a funnel. Let's get some people going.
Okay, so since I haven't been on this in a while, because I haven't been able to get on the noon calls, I should start watching them because you do get them, you record them obviously. Do you want me to write the messages in the chat box?
Yeah. So you'll give them an idea of like, what to do to think of the people that they're going to reach out to, and then just one or two message examples. And then sometimes people will share their examples in the comments too.
Okay, so I have a couple of messages that I was going to put in that are follow-up messages on we did the 3-day challenge, just barely, that one, but then just these are messages I was going to put in there, assuming that you've been in touch with somebody. So we can create some that are for new reach outs, but then I was going to put a couple in there that are for people that you've been in touch with, whether they've been in a challenge or they've done a Zoom, or maybe they haven't, you've just been in touch with them. So I'll go ahead and put some of those in.
And we'll spend about like 8 minutes or so sending messages. All these message examples will, what I'll do is I'll copy these onto a note, and then I'm going to go ahead and put these into some threads. That's what we did yesterday, is we put them into some threads. Yeah, I think that's the best way to do that.
Brooke, if you have any message samples, because I feel like I've reached out to White Lines so many times that it's like I've kind of just given up on them, because it's usually like they'll order if we're offering like, $20 off or something. So I'm just wondering, like, at this point, all of those old ones that are just less than 100 that stick with it, just encourage them to become customers? Or do you have a specific message that you send to those that you've reached out to multiple times?
So for White Lines, I feel like a lot of that depends on the relationship. And, if I know this person is still struggling, like I can either see it physically on social media, or I'm in their life and I know they're still struggling with whatever their issue is. Maybe I have this like gut feeling that a different combination of products plus lifestyle would help them. I'm going to reach out and talk to them about that more specifically. I think sometimes too, like, you know, it can even be in creating like a whole, you know, plan for you. Like, I know that you wanted help with X, Y, and Z. I've been reading about, like Melissa's reading about gut health. You read a lot of articles about gut health too, Barbie. Like, you love that stuff. And so you can come in there and make it not all about plexus, but about a couple of lifestyle things that they could try. And if they want to, they could add in this different regime that you've seen, that you've been thinking about. And
Yeah, that's
I
a
think,
good point. I like that.
yeah, I think one of the things too, and I've been guilty of this as well, and you know, maybe comment in the comments if you have, is I will get somebody restarted or get them to reorder, and I'll be like, this is going to be great, you're going to do great, like this time's going to be different, but my follow-up is not any different. Anybody? And so if you're giving this person some kind of hope that it's going to be different, you have to be different. So you have to write them down in your planner, and you have to hold them accountable and check in with them every Monday. If you're like, I'm going to be your accountability partner, I'm going to help you stick with these 3 goals that we've made for you. You're going to move 20 minutes a day. You're going to eliminate soda. You're going to stop snacking after 9 o'clock because they have the 11 o'clock munchies. So you're going to have to up your game and care when you restart these people, so that they really do have a different experience, because the first time them just taking the products didn't work for them. So I think for me, it's realizing that. And when I helped, you know, some people achieve ranks a couple of months ago, I said, you got to keep a list of all these people that are reordering. You got to keep a list of these people that are adding on a different product to get up to 100 PV. You got to follow up with these people next month, because you really want to try and turn this into a consistent person that's ordering. And I'm not sure that that happened, and that's okay. I have never been perfect at this myself, but if you're going to do that and you're going to offer an incentive, and that's money coming out of your pocket, think of it as a long-term investment and change the way that you follow up with that person to try to create a different experience, because then they don't feel like you just did that to get them to order a product. They're like, wow, I really appreciate that you care and you're checking in on me. Does that help? Okay. So Melissa's putting some sample messages in here. Melissa, do you have any white line messages, or do you want me to write a couple?
Yeah, I can do that too. I'm doing one now that is a follow up on people that you put into an event, and then yeah, we can get that. Or if you want to start writing one.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm actually going to do some IPA.
Just finishing this one up.
I'll let you do that. You got some awesome messages. What I wanted to say about white line messaging, Chantel, is that if the traditional classic, hey, want to get restarted kind of message is not working, you have to dig a little deeper. And sometimes we get in this mode of like we want it to be super fast and we want to just copy paste, copy paste, copy paste. And you might have to work a little bit for this person. You might have to go and do just a little bit of research and read something new or listen to a new video and have something of value to add to them, so that it doesn't just feel transactional. It feels like, wow, I read this, I thought of you, I wanted to send it to you. And then in that message, I said, what have you been doing that's been working for you lately? I'm just being curious. I'm like, what's she been doing? She might write back and be like, it's been rough. I've gained 20 pounds since COVID started. I feel worse. And I don't have to jump on her or pounce on her right when she writes that back and be like, oh my gosh, you need to get back on Plexus. Like, no, that's not what they want to hear. It's listening and being like, oh my gosh, tell me more. Like, what's been going on? Why do you think that happened? Like, just being curious, having empathy, and being there. And sometimes I'll do that and I won't even say anything about Plexus, but I might strategically be smart and put a Hashimoto's story in my story, or post a Hashimoto's testimonial, because I've been chatting with her, which means the algorithm is going to be in my favor, that my post is going to be in her feed. And so sometimes it's not like a one day boom, because if you've tried over and over with these white lines, you've got to be a little bit more strategic and a little bit more empathetic and take it slow in there and be a friend. And if the time feels right, then eventually saying, I know you've been trying some other things and they're not working. You only gave this 2 months. And what I'm seeing with people that have the same issue is like, it's a solid 4 to 6 months with, autoimmune stuff. How do you feel about giving this another try? I have more information, expertise, some lifestyle ideas that we could do as well that would help you. I'd love to help you, something like that.
Okay, I just gave my less than 100 PV sample, and something I wanted to point out is that when you are suggesting a product, you have got to make sure that you're suggesting a product that is going to push them over 100 PV. So for example, in my sample, I suggested Active because I absolutely love Active with my Slim. But one bag of Active is not going to push that person over 100 PV. So you have to be really clear in whatever you are offering, that it is going to push them over the 100 PV. So, and it's no big deal to offer $10 off for us, but it might be just enough for them to consider. They're already spending, the $73 on a bag of Slim. So to push them into a 2-pack, which is what they would want, because that will give them a month's supply of the Active, and then to offer them $10 off, or to cover their shipping, or whatever you want to do. Maybe you offer $10 off and your sponsor will offer the shipping, so you could double up on that, just to help somebody be exposed to a new product that they might fall in love with. And I think everybody would fall in love with Active if they drink it with Slim. So that's one of my less than 100 PV messages that I like to send out.
One of the other things I'm doing for the less than 100 PV is if they're moms and they have kids this month, I'm promoting like the product of the month. So the kids combo with the kids chewables, if I can get them on a subscription before the 28th, that's why the next few days are so important to be doing this less than 100 PV work and not waiting until the 29th and the 30th and the 28th. If we can get them to change their subscription ahead of time, they're going to get 150 perks points, and they are over halfway to a free product. And who knows, maybe their kids might love it, and then next month they'll have enough for a free product. And so make sure to point out all the different benefits to them and think about that individual, because we have the kids combo, 2-pack of Active. I do a lot too, Melissa. Collagen. I like collagen with Slim. Now, I actually never drink Slim alone anymore. It's either mixed with Active or active in collagen or collagen. So collagen's another good one. Ease, Metaburn, Nerve, if they have any kind of nerve issues. If they're wanting to substitute a meal, 2 bags of lean, because lean's 20 PV. So think about all these different combos. Maybe keep a note on your phone and share these with your team members as well. So let's spend our last few minutes taking some time to thoughtfully reach out to some white lines, some less than 100 PVs, because like I said, these next few days are the magic days to get those less than 100 PV up, and you don't have to offer them the world. You don't have to offer them 30 bucks. Some of the verbiage that I will use for less than 100 PV is, you know, I'm doing a little bit of a trial period with people that have never tried X, Y, and Z product, or I'm reaching out to all the moms on my team. I'm wanting to get some feedback on what your kids notice or what you notice in your kids when they get started on our kids line. We're offering a $10 discount on this for people that are willing to be in the trial group. Like, I just, you know, but here's what I'll say about that is like, keep a list of them. So if you have 5 moms that say yes, keep a list of them. And next month, like 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, reach out and say, hey, how did your kids like that trial period? What did you notice? Were they excited to drink the drink? Did they like it? Was it easy to get them to take the vitamins? So that you are doing some kind of follow-up. And I'm the queen of Post-it notes. So even if it's just a Post-it note on your computer, I got these 5 people to get the kids combo. Or if they have 2 kids, to get 2 kids combos, that's 60 PV. You can get those Eternal ProBio 5 and BioCleanse people at like 48 or 52 PV that have 2 kids to order 2 kids combo packs. But yeah, I'll spend a little bit of time sending out some of those messages. And I would encourage you to finish all of those this weekend and look at their orders like Melissa said, and be thoughtful on your recommendations. So just like we talked about at the beginning of the call, what is your weekend goal? Like, what do you really want to get accomplished? Do you know that you're kind of, lagging on the sponsoring thing? And so you're like, I've got to get 20 messages out because I know if I send 20, I'm going to have 3 or 4 conversations and I'm going to sign up 1 or 2 people from that. What's a like, it really is just a numbers game in a way. It's like if you send out a certain number, you're going to start a certain number of conversations, and from those conversations you're going to get a certain number of people that get started. But also, what are you committed to finishing up today before you enjoy the other wonderful things in life? And instead of getting to the end of your work time, like if you've finished all those things, instead of thinking like, well, maybe that wasn't enough, uh, I don't know. I mean, I actually finished 20 minutes early. Like, you could either spend that extra 20 minutes, which is awesome, send out some extra. But if you really have done the things that you said you would do, celebrate. Be super happy about that and train your brain to be like, okay, I did the things that I promised myself I would do. It's okay for me to now go and just enjoy, because that downtime and that relaxation time after you've sent your 5 messages, you've done your follow-up, you've got your post set up for tomorrow. It's like, it's gonna take you some time to get used to that and get yourself into that mode where you let yourself relax. But that downtime is actually going to help your creativity. It's going to help your productivity. It's going to help you to be happier, which is going to show, and then you're going to attract more people. So anyways, oh, Leah, I'll be enrolling at least 1 today, but really I want to enroll 4 today. I love it. I want to enroll 2 today. So I'm going to be sitting here for a little while. Have a great day, you guys. I will be here tomorrow. I put in the comments that I'm going to be working at the same time. I might even be working for an hour and a half or 2 hours. And you're welcome to just come on, even if it just holds you accountable. That's the magic of this. It's like, listen, this is an hour where, sorry, not available to do other things. I'm going to sit here and do my work. I don't even care if you listen to us or listen to me. If it makes you sit down and get some work done, awesome. Okay, we'll see you guys tomorrow.